Well, I did a lot of research. About 3 or 4 years ago, I was in a hemp store, and we were doing a television program, and somebody asked me about how many pesticides that are in the clothing from the cotton that's been sprayed, and they spray cotton 7 times in a growing season, actually can be absorbed into your body, and the amount is about 39%. I'm a huge fan of herbs in general. I think herbs have a tremendous history. They have a tremendous power for healing. And I started into herbalism about 10 years ago, and that got me not only eating the herb, but also sometimes cultivating it if I could grow it myself, or even dyeing my clothes in it. So when I came across Vastra, that you were dyeing these clothes in the great herbs, I knew that you were onto something really important and amazing, because that's what these plants really are, is that they are not just a plant, they're really an energy, and they're usually an energy of great healing when you're dealing with the super herbs like Tulsi and Neem and vetiver and some of these other ones that you're using to dye these clothes. And I love that it's an all-natural process and a traditional process. So there's no chemicals at all. We've had so many chemicals that have bombarded us over the years, 75,000 artificial chemicals that have been injected into our ecosystem since 1940. But really the herb is, again, an energy, and when you put it into the clothing and it's around you, then it hits you from every direction, and you do get something from it, because I've been wearing your clothes, so I know at this point. I can feel it. Well, let's start with Tulsi. Tulsi is one of my favorites. I was meeting with a woman who is an Ayurvedic practitioner. So she's been working with these herbs her whole life, and she grew up with it. And she said, if you don't have a Tulsi plant in your front yard, you don't have a house, right? This is like part of what makes your house a home, is to have Tulsi. It's part of comfort. So to me, Tulsi is a super adaptogen. It is one of the greatest adaptogens in the world, meaning it helps you adapt to stress. Whatever the stress is, Tulsi is there to support and help. That's why I eat it. But I don't just eat it. I have it growing around my house, and now I'm wearing it because of you. I've got the Vastra Tulsi dyed clothing, organic, and that is a way of getting that energy around me. It's an energy of protection and support. Science is somewhat stunted in its growth because we have such a rigorous Western mind that's implanted itself over science that, for example, things that are exceptional or synchronistic we don't look at, because we only look at statistics, just straight statistics, and we don't look at the miracles in science. The Western mind says, oh, a plant, you eat a plant or else it cannot work on you. But I've learned from growing these herbs. I've learned from growing Tulsi, for example. I've learned from growing Neem and ashwagandha and turmeric and some of the great Ayurvedic herbs that there's an energy to growing it that has a healing power on you. Just being around, it's like a friend or something. It's like having a dog there, you know, like somebody that loves you. It really has a strong energy. You really feel it. It has an effect on you. And I find I don't need to eat it as much. I get the energy from just growing it. Well, I also feel that from wearing it as well. It's hard to get the scientific mind wrapped around that. I think what you're doing with the bedding and bringing it to that level with Vastra and developing it just beyond even clothing is exceptional. Because let's say, in this case, we've got a turmeric bed sheet. And let's say somebody's dealing with chronic inflammation. Well, one thing is you could drink turmeric tea, or you could do turmeric juice or dice it up and put it into your food. Another way of approaching it is, hey, sleep with it around you and see what happens then. And your bedding idea and just that extra little bit of intent that you've put into the way we're sleeping by putting the herb in there with the herb around you is, I really believe, where we kind of go when we really start to look at what does a comfortable bedroom look like and feel like. I've been all around the world. I remember hunting down hemp clothing in Berlin. I've been all over the United Kingdom looking for organic clothing, organic cotton all the way down in Mexico, and organic cotton clothing all across the United States and even in Asia. And I've tried all different kinds of different garments that are out there. And I have to say, what you have here is perfection. It's perfection, where you get the feel that you want, which is the organic cotton and that beautiful feel, but you also have the energy of the herbs that are in there that have been dyed in with the shirt, and there's nobody on that game. You're ahead of the game. It's just fantastic.